If you're looking to build a head-turning, aesthetic physique that commands attention, you must focus on developing key muscles that not only make you stronger, but also make you look bigger and more muscular. In this video, we'll discuss 5 exercises that'll help you achieve a jacked, muscular look by focusing on muscle groups that make the biggest visual impact. And if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, then you know that too much training volume can wreak havoc on your joints, making it nearly impossible to recover as fast as you did in your 20s. That's why I want to focus on movements that are not only effective, but also efficient, so you don't have to spend hours in the gym hammering a specific muscle group. So with that out of the way, let's get into the only 5 exercises you need to look jacked. Exercise number 1, cable lateral raises. Being the most visually prominent area of your upper body, broad shoulders automatically make you look wider and more muscular. And while the shoulders as a whole play a major role in upper body width, it's the mid-delts that contribute the most to broader shoulders. Unfortunately, while the front and rear delts are heavily targeted through the pushing and pulling exercises you're already doing, the mid-delts get very little stimulus from compound lifts. That's why it's not only imperative that you train them directly, but that you train them in a way that gives you the biggest bang for your buck. And because the primary function of the mid-delts is horizontal abduction, it's no secret that they're best trained with some form of lateral raise. And while the traditional dumbbell lateral raise is a great exercise, it only challenges the mid-delts during the mid and shortened ranges. This study from Garner and Pandy regarding the length-tension relationship in the shoulder muscles, however, shows that the lateral delt is active throughout its entire range of motion. In other words, it's highly active in the lengthened position, which is completely ignored when utilizing dumbbells. That's why I recommend a cable lateral raise, as it challenges the mid-delts throughout the entire range of motion, keeping tension on the target muscle from start to finish. And if you want to make your mid-delt training even more effective, there are a few more things you must consider. First, hand position. This fairly recent study comparing internal, neutral, and external rotation of the arm found that a neutral hand position creates the highest middle delt activation. That same study also suggests that a longer moment arm activates the middle delts better. In other words, it may be better to perform this movement with your arms fully extended. And lastly, perform the lateral raise in the scapular plane. Instead of raising your arms directly at your sides, raise them in front of you slightly, about 30 to 45 degrees from your clavicle, as this puts the delts in the strongest and safest position to abduct the shoulder. Overall, the lateral raise is a relatively low-risk, light-load exercise, which is great for those who may have joint or mobility issues or are proactively trying to avoid causing any. By focusing on the quality of the movement and gradually increasing resistance over time, you can safely and effectively build 3D delts without having to spend hours in the gym hammering your shoulder joints. Exercise number 2. Chest supported row. Nothing creates a muscular appearance like a thick set of traps. Just compare someone with well-developed traps to someone with underdeveloped traps. The lack of trap development will make a muscular individual appear smaller and in some cases even less masculine. Contrary to popular belief, the upper trap fibers do not run up and down. Instead, they run diagonally. That means that maximum tension is placed when force is applied at an angle. You see, while one of the main functions of the traps is scapular elevation or shrugging your shoulders upwards, they're also responsible for scapular retraction or pulling your shoulder blades back. In fact, one recent 2021 study showed that upper, middle, and lower trap activation levels were highest during scapular retraction compared to the conventional shrug. And since most of the deep upper back muscles also run horizontally and attach to the scapula, we can presume that they too are trained best in this manner. The key here is to allow your upper back muscles to stretch as much as possible during the eccentric phase, allowing your thoracic spine to round a little. This puts your traps and other upper back muscles under a loaded stretch for maximal activation. This is why I recommend a chest-supported row over a non-supported variation, as it allows your shoulder blades to protract fully without having to compensate by hinging at your hips. Then, during the concentric, focus on retracting the scapula, bringing your shoulder blades as close to your spine as possible. The more protraction and retraction of the scapula we get during a rowing movement, the greater the range of motion, thus the more effective the exercise becomes. And since most of the upper back muscles attach at the scapula and work to stabilize it, it becomes even more important to train and strengthen them, since they significantly influence shoulder health and stability. According to this study, published in the International Journal of Sports Physical Therapy, weakness of these stabilizers could result in abnormal stresses to the shoulder, increased possibility of rotator cuff compression, and decreased neuromuscular performance. Exercise number 3, pull-ups or pull-downs. The lats are one of the largest, most visible muscles in the upper body. When well developed, the lats create a V shape that makes your upper body appear wider, giving you a more muscular appearance. And since their main function is horizontal adduction or bringing your arms down at your sides, it's no surprise that pull-ups or lat pull-downs are the best way to build them. One study, published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, compared different grips on the lat pull-down. A V-bar with hands in a neutral position, an underhand pull-down similar to a chin-up, an overhand pull-down similar to a pull-up, and an overhand behind the back pull-down. They found that the pronated in front of the body variation led to the highest activation in the lats, and therefore, when applied to a pull-up, which is essentially the same fundamental movement pattern, should be the same. When it comes to grip width, research seems to support the use of a medium grip over both a narrow or wider grip due to more activation on the eccentric portion of the exercise. And since all exercise variables remain the same in the study, including range of motion, hip angle, trunk movement, and more, it means that choosing the right hand position alone greatly influences the levels of muscle fiber recruitment. As far as choosing between the pull-up or pull-down, I recommend incorporating both. Personally, I perform pull-ups or weighted pull-ups during my strength-focused training days and lat pull-downs on days where I'm training in a higher rep range. That said, if you can't perform enough pull-ups to achieve an adequate amount of volume, check out our video titled "How to Increase Your Pull-Up Strength Fast" and learn how you can go from 0 pull-ups to 10 pull-ups in 30 days. Exercise number 4, low incline dumbbell bench press. One article published in the Journal for Interventional Medicine and Applied Science found that training routines that include just the bench press or any variation of it seem to be adequate enough to stimulate overall chest development. Not only that, but research also suggests that the bench press 1 rep max is tightly correlated to pec size and strength, meaning the bigger your bench, the bigger your pecs, at least to a degree. And while the barbell bench press is often considered the king of upper body exercises, and for good reason, using dumbbells instead allows for a greater range of motion, resulting in greater muscle activation and growth. Not only that, but by using dumbbells, you can vary the angle of your press and adjust your grip width, which can help to avoid impingement and reduce stress on the shoulders. This can lead to healthier, pain-free shoulders over the long term, which is important for maintaining an active lifestyle and continuing to make progress in the gym. Now, while the traditional flat dumbbell press is a great upper body builder, one study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, where they placed electrodes over the lower, middle, and upper chest, sought to answer the question of which bench press variation will give you the best bang for your buck. They found that at a 30-degree angle, activation of the anterior delts and upper fibers of the pecs was maximized. For the lower and middle fibers, the traditional flat bench was best, and there was little to no difference in tricep stimulation across all angles. Looking at the graph, however, you can see that 15 degrees is not only great for hitting all fibers of the pec, it also elicits more activation of the deltoids. Most people will notice that they can do substantially more weight on a flat bench than a traditional incline of about 45 degrees, so this low incline variation gives you the best of both worlds. And not only is it easier to load than the traditional incline variation, but it also produces more activation in both the upper chest and delts. And number 5, trap bar deadlifts. The trap bar deadlift is a great exercise for building lower body strength and size, targeting the quads, glutes, and hamstrings for complete lower body development. But to maximize its benefits, we'll need 2 variations, one to hit the posterior and one to hit the anterior portion of the lower body. According to one study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, the trap bar deadlift reduces horizontal displacement away from the body by an average of 75%, resulting in less lower back strain. This makes it an effective alternative to the traditional deadlift for individuals with a history of lower back pain or in the final stages of rehabilitation. Keep in mind, the trap bar deadlift was performed with the hips high, making it more targeted toward activating the hamstrings, glutes, and spinal erectors. So if you enjoy deadlifting but don't enjoy the looming back pain, a high hip trap bar deadlift is a great alternative. For the quads or front of the thighs, trap bar deadlifts perform with the hips low to start, and maintaining an upright posture is an effective alternative to the squat. Not only are they just as effective as some other more popular lower body movements, but the trap bar deadlift is a relatively safer exercise compared to traditional barbell lifts like squats and deadlifts. This is especially true for those of us who may have pre-existing lower back issues or who are more prone to injury due to age-related factors. In conclusion, I recommend these 2 trap bar deadlift variations due to their ability to effectively target and strengthen the same muscle groups as you would with traditional barbell squats and deadlifts, minus the potential aches and pains. So there you have it, the only 5 exercises you need to look jacked and more muscular without having to hammer your body in the gym for hours at a time. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below, as it'll truly help out the channel. Also, if you're training consistently and your nutrition is in order, yet you're failing to see noticeable results, check out our science-based recovery stack. With pitch black and maxed out, you'll have your post-workout needs covered with clinically dosed products proven to improve sleep quality, enhance recovery, and increase muscle and strength. And right now, you can get 25% off your entire order. Just head over to musclemonsters.com/supplements or click the link in the description and enter the coupon code MONSTER at checkout. And if you're enjoying the content and want to support the channel, all we ask is that you click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss another video. Peace.